Welcome back to the Academy World Semifinals, where Golden Guardians is at match point in this series, especially after coming off of the Game 1 loss to surge back and really throw TSM off to say, hey, you are not in the lead.
And with a similar composition too, busting out the Sona Tom in Game 1, now in Game 3, securing them that match point victory. TSM, however, is now choosing the blue side again. All teams have chosen blue side, and this might be the time where they have to just show us everything they've got. Because with your backs against the wall, and off a game that was a bit of a back and forth, just like Game 2, but it felt like it was something that was definitely winnable, particularly tactical. His Ezreal did so much damage, just unable to really stick when you're dealing with the Sona's healing. On the flip side, we also had a Blaze Olive, who was part of our featured matchup earlier today, and his Akali was phenomenal. He really was, you could tell he wanted it. You could really see that he looked for so many flanks to find a way to take down the Sona, but unfortunately, Ole's Tom Kench was too much.
So much sustain, so much resistance. And, you know, as I said before, usually you get big damage numbers on an Ezreal like that when you're playing against tanks. Well, I guess you also get it when there's a lot of health bars being regen too.
Yeah.
Forget to mention that because it's so funny. Game is going to be starting as we get into picks and bans here. Palafox on your screen, hoping to have a good game in the mid lane. Once again, he had the Aurelia last game, and they were going crazy. I think stronger lanes now for TSM that would completely take over as they had in the first game would be great. You can still do a lot of damage with the ones they had last game. It just did not work out with Hard's jungle pressure.
And let's see if TSM chooses to ban the Tom Kench. They did so last time around. They were on blue side. They really didn't want to deal with Golden Guardians busting that out. But we could see a priority instead of the Aatrox, because Darshan has prioritized this the last few games. He did do really well. And I think both teams might just, whoa! Golden Guardian says, no, you're not going to prioritize Aatrox. We know you did this before. We're not going to let you do it again. Let's see what else Grig can play besides Aatrox and Karma.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to split up the situation. There's a Tom Kench being banned out. We have seen Xayah still getting banned out as a Xayah Rakan, and Xayah being one of the better marksmen currently. We'll see them banned all the way down, and there's the Yuumi. That used to be first ban for these teams, but Sylas is left open. This was the Deathless Acadian, and I believe it was a reason they were able to have such that calm early game, because they had powerful lanes surrounding this.
He had a really stellar performance on this pick, but it was up against the Sejuani, who is now not going to be played by Hard. So let's see what else TSM Acadian can find to steal, because that's one of the big things that makes Sylas jungle powerful. What ultimates can you steal? If there's just garbage, you're not really going to do a whole lot. So far, these two AD ultimates are not something you really want. You don't want to punt anybody away when you're Sylas, and you're not getting a lot of value out of the Ezra ultimate compared to his Game 1 victory with the Crescendo and the Glacial Prison.
So it could be a Blaze Olives, possibly, but we've seen Acadian take that to the jungle, and if he can get it back, why not? Jarvan still left up here as we do see a support. Picking Jarvan would give away so much for TSM, so probably going to be that AD carry since they already see it on Academy's side. Not going to get pinched, don't lose anything. Maybe the Corki, honestly. Maybe mid lane.
Yeah, Corki, right? He is a pick that Blaze Olive did really well before, but he was also up against Palafox's Tristana, so it would be a return match of something that was a loss for TSM, so there might be a little bit of a conflict going for that, because remember, when they ran the Corki, they also had Skarner in the jungle, being able to have a bit of a beefier front line to engage. It makes it a lot easier to get away with these carries.
Chatting with Keith. Chatting with a Narrow, Keith and Narrow, Nikith and Narrow. And it's going to be the Jarvan lock-in for Hard. So they are going to be able to get some good initiations down with this team. And follow-up damage. It's going to be shooting fish in the barrel for Ezreal and Tristana.
Yeah, they don't want the Jarvan to be banned away. TSM would not have been shy about banning it last time around. They locked in the Sivir. They banned it right away. Did not want to deal with it. So Golden Guardians makes sure that they complete their main draft with the Jarvan and 2 hyper carries. Everything else should be just support around those two with a top laner that hopefully Darshan can find a way to snowball, though, because they're not going to ban out the Karma. I really don't think they care if Grig finds a way to lose lane
Agreed.
gracefully. It's like, surprise, you got away with karma. All right, now what do you do for the team?
Alistar taken away from Ole. Let's see his Thresh.
Thresh.
No, don't play Thresh. Final ban here, 10 seconds left on the side of TSM Academy. What do they want to take away? Palafox, that's a zero in the mid lane. Hit the
Hard engage. Get rid of all the hard engage.
It is the hard engage. Even with the Xayah gone, the hard engage still comes from Rakan.
So Golden Guardians should probably just take the support here. You already know that Ablazal, that the Sivir and Braum are going for TSM Academy's bottom lane, and you can just save Darshan, the last pick, to counter it. This is a really, really nice support to lock away right now, because not only can you potentially flex it to 3 lanes, because you still have to consider that Triss can be flexed to top and mid as well, but it denies Grig a pick that he showed to be pretty good at, being able to keep up with Darshan's Aatrox. So now we're taking Grig to a new pick that we have not seen in this series so far. Well, I guess if he locks in the Kennen, but we saw how that went.
Ooh, I wonder. Is Grig Broken Blade? Can he Azir? Pretty versatile champion.
That'd be amazing.
It would.
Azir
is very hard to play correctly, especially keeping eye on having at least 3 soldiers or your soldiers up in the fight in the right position. You'd be drawing soldiers from behind you, and you see them slide by, and your enemy's already gone. That's a rumble coming in for Grig, actually, on the top side, so it does give him the ability to fight a 2v1 situation where he would be that one. But who is it going to be against? We know Darshan has a nasty Gnar from his historical play, and we have 10 seconds to get locked in here. His Camille is also left up for this game.
I think the Gnar makes a lot of sense when you've got the Jarvan on your team, being able to drop that Cataclysm into the Gnar ultimate
walls.
is such a powerful combo. And you also actually get a lot of value from the attack speed. Not that Camille wouldn't love that, but going for the split push approach is a little bit different than what Golden Guardians has been doing so far. They do like to take to the sidelines a little bit more, but the series has really revolved around the 4v5, the 5v5, which team can get the man advantage before the opponent, aka who initiates the fight tends to be the one that wins them.
Just keep an eye on this Palafox summoner spell choice. A kill lane could cause a Blaze Olive to be caught off guard. You come back without flash, Tristana and Jarvan are going to jump on you over and over again. That could be a tough one to get out of, especially with the Flag and Dragon resets coming in. Coach Goldman, Coach Anero shaking hands for what could be the last time of this semifinal matchup, or are we going to break out the orchestra for Silver Scrapes?
I am always down for a little bit of good tunes, right? There's so many renditions that we have of Silver Scrapes now. There's the orchestra.
Let's call up Mark, get him on stage for live vocals.
Ooh, vocalized. That's actually my least favorite Silver Scrapes edition. I don't know.
It's okay. It happens.
It's an addition. It's a rendition.
It's a rendition.
Yeah. But I don't think I could have done what Mark did, so.
He carried it for a long
Bravo to him.
time.
Really.
I would have given a plus 20 seconds too long, but that's when you break funny. That's when you hit it. When they used to tell us, if you feel like you've waited too long in casting with creating air silence, wait 3 more seconds, and then you're good. And you're like, oh, all right, all right.
If you look at traditional broadcasts, there's actually way more silence, and sometimes you just want to enjoy the game and watch the plays unfold naturally.
That's right. Not for League of Legends, though. Let's go! No, I'm kidding. Here we are into what could be the final game of this semi-final matchup. Golden Guardians Academy coming out huge these last 2 games. Persevering after having their backs against the wall for a game number 1 where TSM controlled the map like crazy. We'll see if they can do it here again to bring us to a game 5, but GGS wants to close this one out here.
I am looking at Acadian to be the guy to step up here with such a stud of a Silas in game 1. I'm fully expecting a similar performance here, back against the wall, playing in the academy. What better way to do so than just carrying a few games to make sure that your team is in a position to take you to game 5, enter Academy World Finals.
Let's see if they can do it. The pressure is on. Remember, it becomes physical at this point. You are about 4 games in, 3 of those 30 minutes on average. So you're sitting here over an hour of playing already. And you have to wonder, you know, is each click going to be the same? How fatigued are you mentally and physically? Which plays feel right? One of my favorites is that if somebody's got low health, 100 HP, game 1 you may not go for that. Game 3, that 100 HP looks much more good.
Ooh, so we've got
much better you're going to hit
another invade from Golden Guardians here. Just a little bit of a back and forth. Golden Guardians probably ends up losing this, considering that TSM does have the Braum, but TSM's just going to give it up. The Tristana was too powerful in the mid lane, being so aggressive, allowing the rest of the team to push and collapse.
This is the kind of stuff that I love. I don't think enough teams do this. That could be hard going down.
Smited though.
Yeah, they're going to get the smites in. And it is not going to be a takeover from Hard. It looks like he was trying to get a little bit of that HP back for himself, and it does keep him alive.
That is huge, and now Trist actually does get to miss a little bit of the experience in the top part of the... Wait, we got to find a mid.
Blaze Olive comes back. That's going to be the Ignite down. Remember, he's got Ignite to use immediately. Onto the turret for one shot. Not heated up, so he's going to be okay, but we noticed that aggression coming into the lane right away. And that's a double summoner spell used immediately. And it was actually switched to Exhaust from Teleport for Blaze Olive, which kept him alive.
Yeah, there is no way to get back into this lane now to really get the most out of that advantage. So if he chooses to stay in lane here, he's going to end up losing because he's gonna run low on mana, and then Tristana just never needs mana to spam push the wave. That's the intrinsic value of this pick, just endless wave.
This is what you want to see in a game 4. The pressure of losing on the side of TSM, but they're still ready to go hungry. They're still ready to tempt these fight. GGS saying, we're going to create more of those opportunities for ourselves. What I was saying before when they were fighting Crumbs is a lot of the times we'll see teams only go to a certain point of pushing each other in, trying to do a little bit of work that usually isn't done. And what a shot and hits from Keith on all the skill shots there to make it work, is that you pressure the team into doing something they're not comfortable with. How many times have you fought in the jungle until 5 minutes? It's considered Fiesta, right? When a team wins Worlds with that, is it still considered Fiesta or is it considered controlled chaotic?
Hey,
when does it change?
A good Fiesta is something everybody appreciates. And now we've got Hard once again having backup from his mid laner. Now, Rumble is here, but Tristana is also around. So Acadian gets pushed out. They are being so aggressive in game 4, which is so unexpected. And the control ward as well. Oh my word, they are just pressuring Acadian like crazy. He doesn't know Trist is here.
Gonna jump in, that's gonna be hit on Acadian. A kill possibly coming through, the burn is there. A red buff for the mid laner. I'm not sure if Blaze Olive wants to toy with this one. Standard goes down. That's actually a very big kill. This is gonna be a double red buff transfer over to a Blaze Olive. He can pick up a refresh right here. A few more attacks, and he picks up a solo double.
It was so good from Golden Guardians, but they greeted out at the very end, thinking that they could take down Palafox as well, but they had no mana. It was only enough for the Damascene standard for Jarvan. No combo, no explosive shot or rocket jump from Tristana. So we're going to see how this all unfolded right away. The control word is a really nice touch from Hard here. And the combo is not there because he already used Flag there. Acadian does a really good job in buying time with his smite. But then at this point, they should have just left. Instead, they run all past the soldiers. And you can tell that Palafox doesn't really want to get in here. He's back and forth and back and forth. But at the end of the day, all those first 5 minutes from Golden Guardians have now been undone. And you put a Blaze Olive, the best performing member of TSM this series, in the best position he's been early game so far.
And that's what we were talking about, is we were kind of joking if Grig would get the Azir treatment as Broken Blade did, but knowing those soldiers, the position, the passive attack speed that they give you, Hard was completely caught off guard. So the Blaze Olive is ready and raring to go this game. Fiendish Codex in his pocket on top of the 2 Doran's rings. His top lane, Grig's doing a great job on this Gnar with his Rumble. Darshan's pushed out of lane just a bit as they are still trading in CS quite evenly, but a very nice stop to the pressure early game there by a Blaze Olive roaming into the jungle here. More damage on. Whoa, Palafox going in to get the reset and still trade out on the damage. Do they bait him back now into the fight, which would transfer the red buff one more time, and they do not.
That was so aggro, but so close, too, out of Tristana. Just don't mess with my lane. I will fight you if you come here again. I think he has enough sustain to actually stay in here and not be phased by the Azir having red buff. So Trist doing a pretty good job so far. This Tristana really showing us why Golden Guardians, not just the Academy team, but the LCS team, love this pick as of late.
And knowing your little bit of break points when you need to back your health bar limit. Palafox is pushing it as much as he can right now. The double Dorans for him on the other side to keep that HP up, but also a small null magic mantle, so he's not shredded immediately. One plate for the bot side here on Golden Guardians Academy. And a little bit of love from Acadian, a blue buff on him, but he'll just give some vision to bot side to stay safe.
Things are going so well for the Golden Guardians bottom lane now with a pretty big CS lead over Tactical, about 18. Getting their plate as well. So I think a big part of it was that level 1, being able to push them back, then gave Ezreal and Karma control of the lane. And if you know where they're coming from, your poke makes it so hard for you to get into the lane without losing significant HP, which stops your ability from laning effectively.
Dragons pulled out, so they have an idea that this is being done now from the side of TSM. Not much they can do. All waves are pushed in. Golden Guardians has been doing a great job at kind of putting together a composition that will have a bit of an advantage in where the waves are constantly here in the laning phase. Palafox back to mid. Takes a few pokes from the soldiers as he's getting more attack speed for himself in the inventory, just like a Blaze Olive. It's getting hot up here.
Yeah, the Rumble is a pick that a lot of junglers do like to play this pick just because it fits the similar MO of what Grig's been doing all lane. It's fairly easy to not die in lane with Rumble, with the shield, with the build itself, and then you're always going to be pretty useful. You lay down an equalizer in the enemy's backline, and at the very least, you get a slow and a little bit of chunk. So
absolutely,
it's a pick that makes a lot of sense, and he's going to have an easier time with this than what he did in Kennen in game 2.
And we always say Rumble can do quite a bit. In a tight position, he's not the easiest champion to use. Seeing somebody overheat, not totally uncommon, especially for a professional player. So knowing how your heat gauge works, able to do more damage that's amped up as it's over 50%, and knowing that realm, it definitely takes time as a Rumble player, and we see that throughout his years, Grig has put that time in. So far, as I say that, I cast or curse him, and he fires an equalizer backwards. Good shot. So much poke in this lane. It's almost kind of worse than the Sona lane. In the Sona lane, you know you're going to take a few bits of poke, and then it stops. Here, it's just one after the other, and it's pretty big front-end damage.
Once they got going, they have not let go of this lead. Darshan does not have his ultimate, though, so he'll look to get the most out of the mini Gnar.
What's he going? Stack 4 on his Q. Level 9 will hit 5. And he's sticking the rest into his W. Whoa. Quick flash forward. Didn't have any minions to stand on that one, but it looks like they're going to go for Ole here. Good damage onto him. Chain Blast goes out. That's going to be concussive blows. Winter's Bite goes down, but who can he stop? That's a lot of low health bars. They may need to pull out. Acadian still going in for the fight. Almost giving himself up on that one. Equalizer comes down. A good teleport from Grig. He flashes inside the Cataclysm to try to get through it even quicker, and it kind of pays off for him as they come up with another kill on Too Hard.
Ooh, one more if he has E.
Oh! Who's going to be getting down to the bot save first? Palafox says, oh, my walk was for nothing, as it's a kill coming up for Keith. He flashes forward to help get that one in position. Darshan with big damage and free time on top as we get one more replay on this bot side fight.
So Acadian is looking for a fight here, but he hasn't really gotten a very powerful ultimate. He steals the Karma ultimate, which really just gives them a fat shield to speed them up and get a little bit more damage or tankiness, and it doesn't really do anything. You want to be stealing Jarvan's ultimate here. And while Grig does TP and try to help the rest of the team, the fact that this fight ends up going in the way of Golden Guardians, which all of the kills going to the Ezreal, means that Golden Guardians has a massive upside to this, as now Darshan gets to get all the plates in the top lane, and Keith walks away from this with a 3-0 lead.
Feels great for the Ezreal, feels great for GGS, who are game point on TSM, getting into another fight that could play in their favor. Oh, into the middle is a Palafox, and he is going to start doing the damage. Reset on that, he's going to say, king me. Almost a shot onto Treats, and he's looking for that one to go over the right side of the wall if he needs to. Might be a jump coming through here, but he's going to stay for the fight. Now it comes over, but that is the double kill. Now 3-1-2. for Palafox.
That was such a beautiful fight. I really wish we got to see the start of it, but the way that Palafox actually played that was phenomenal. Multiple knockups from Hard as well, and it looks like it started with TSM's bottom lane dodging out of the Golden Guardians, Karma and Ezreal lane. They swapped to top side, but Golden Guardians anticipated it. They swapped as well, and it just turned out that Hard and Palafox were quicker on the play than the rest of the squad. Let's take another look here.
Crump, I need more of this.
Let's see what goes down, because they kind of get face checked, but Olay is really tanky here, and the tactical spell shield does not stop the knockup here. It really just stops the Damascene stand. Look at Palafox. Look at what he does with the combined True Shot Barrage. He flashes in, and then this is the sickest part. Knocks them both back, lines them up for Jarvan to get him, buys enough time for the stopwatch.
Did he
wow, that was
snuff?
Beautiful.
Wait, he snuffed Emperor's Divide?
Yes, it was beautiful.
I didn't know that was possible. I've actually never seen it stop, but I was watching Tristana at the bottom of the fight, so I didn't see that effect happen. Woo! In the river, you gotta be kidding me.
They're styling.
Blaze Olive cannot catch a break right now. Great job by GGS, completely staying on the ball and in the face of TSM. Now to the mid turret, drop down to 3 plates here quickly. Or drop 3, I should say, down to 2 with that Rift Herald. And they're gonna be able to get more damage onto this turret. Looks like they're gonna do a rinse and repeat as they don't have full vision on the members of TSM, and they're playing it very safe.
So much gold went over to the side of Palafox, and he's actually changed things up. He's not going for the Blade of the Ruined King build that we saw before. He's going for the rush up. Wait a minute, the tactical's dead again.
Get out of this one. Turret's ramping up. Ole's got one more shot. He's dead. Tactical picking up a kill for himself. Way too hot on that turret to stay under. Now they could get him to push out a little bit with Hard here. Cataclysm goes down. No flash for the Sivir. And one Mystic shot is enough to pick up the kill.
When you got that much money in your pocket, you're okay giving some away to charity, making sure that Tactical does have a way back in.
Buster shot?
No, they can't get anything on that. Yeah, his build, he's not going for Blade, he's going for Hex Drinker against the Blaze All that they, I think, gave those 2 kills earlier, and then going for the possibly Rapid Fire or Static Shift.
It's absolutely ridiculous that you're still able to provide that much getting into these fights. You stay ahead of the game. As a marksman, you're always doing good damage. And I love that Palafox is playing this in a situation where he knows more damage is around him already. You can see Darshan can 1v1 his lane now. But Palafox is saying, hey, yeah, there's more GPS behind me. I'm not the only marksman. My job is to go straight into the middle, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
This Tristana is just a sick, sick pick from Palafox so far, and I can't wait to see what else they were going to be able to bust out. On the flip side, you can see that Ezreal has probably the fastest Trinity Mirror Mana spike that we've seen in a while, at 14 minutes already with both items. How many stacks does he need for the
200, 210.
So he's going to be really quick on that. Free 20 minutes,
yeah.
He's going to secure both of those. Whereas Sivir doesn't even have 1 item.
Yeah, and there's a call being finished too. So extra cash in the pocket as Keith is already ahead. He's kind of using the old sword of the occult. He's like, you know, I'm just going to stack things that work. Stack. Gonna get bigger and bigger just because I have things in my inventory. So we're waiting on that gold to come in. He's currently sitting on 750, and he is 8,600 gold to the 4,500 of tactical right now. And Ezreal usually takes a bit of time to get to that point.
The time is now.
Yeah, the time is now.
Oh,
700 gold.
4,000?
It's pretty gross. 700 could be picked up. Got to remember his Klepto. He's getting a little bit of cash on the side as well. He's got good investments. Here's a Emperor's Divide onto Palafox. Hops right over that. No Winter's Bite to tag on, but it's going to be a 3v1. What can the rest of the team get out of this? Glacial Prison, or I'm sorry, Glacial Fissure goes down, but they are going to put him in that death prison. He goes down. That's a shutdown. That's a big gold, but it goes over to Treats.
Hey, it sucks that Treats gets it, but at least they're getting something done. Darshan was already going to get the bottom tower, so TSM making moves, trying to get something going on, and rallying around a Blaze Olive. Nobody else is going to be able to do what this team needs right now. and he's not going to be able to even commit for that tower. They need him to play turret defense because now Golden Guardians is pressing the attack on both mid and bottom.
And they really are, and it seems like the longevity of this series is playing on TSM. Crumbs, we take stock of just the CS from top and bot lane. 153 to 111 on the top side, and 155 to 107 in that marksman position. Here's the on the hunt coming out from TSM. They feel like they've been pushed back a little too long, and they're ready to bite back. That's Keith going down. That's quite a bit of money. 700 gold going over to Acadian now in bounty, and he gets himself up to 2,000 gold in his pocket to spend. We'll see what TSM can do with this.
That is an absolutely huge kill, exactly what you wanted. You even got Keith his flash now, so you're going to be able to find him again. Not taking any objectives, but I love that TSM is taking it one play at a time. You don't need to get that much more when you're this far behind.
Toying with TSM across the river. Oh, and looks like this could be a kill. No red buff there for Palafox as the stand behind me gets Treats to a safe spot. I believe they might have gotten the proc there. Yeah, he gets the reset. Might be able to get another explosive shot out. Buster may not be there. It is coming up in 10%, but he has the flash. Now Acadian's gonna go down. A beautiful job, but they get Ole. But trading that 2 onto TSM is what GGS wants.
And Greg also died here. I think Darshan ended up 1v1ing him and also takes down the bottom lane tower. So it is a good trade, 1v1 for TSM at this stage, but losing the bottom lane tower is a way bigger cost than they could have afforded here. TSM is bleeding everywhere right now.
And it's been Greg, as you see in his inventory, kind of hitting the garage sale saying, who can I stop? How can I stop them? Instead of saying, hey, I'm a power factor for the team. It's not going to be the Leandries into boots. He's trying to mitigate all the things he's up against. Here we see Treats going down once again. Gonna get a proc on that. The explosive shot allows Palafox to say, yeah, one more time. And he hops right in.
Look at that, we get the zoom out view to see exactly what went down between Greg and Darshan. Pretty much hit every single ability.
The flash on him.
Ends up taking him out, and the turret too. So really worthwhile from him. Just crushing top lane every game this series.
And we see the Tristana once again for Palafox coming up huge. They brought it out in that second game. Game 3 was a little different, but 4 right back to riding the bike. Acadian on the bottom side. Top side is a Blaze Olive. He goes down. Acadian might fall now. And they're getting fought between the two turrets of what is this Deer Sundisk on the top side. Ole and Palafox could go down here in the corner. Palafox in a real tough spot. Three's a crowd around him. But look at GGS closing in, ready to help their teammates. They're always one step ahead, if even behind TSM for a moment.
And they are so lucky they got out of there because Darshan was coming in huge with the rage already built up. And even though Golden Guardians did lose Keith earlier, he is still just as strong as ever. They catch Acadian in the bottom side, and meanwhile, they're just way too strong in the top side. A Blaze Olive, even with a tower, can't stand up to how fed Golden Guardians is right now.
I like the Cataclysm for Cataclysm there under the turret. It's pretty cheeky. Palafox goes down, but look, even a Trist. 3 members of the other team are on a marksman, and it's almost enough time for the rest of GGS to close in. They were already there. It helps that they're en route, but you can see how far Palafox is ahead. It's hard for these members to take him down. He's 3 levels ahead of Acadian, still ahead of Tactical, even with a Blaze Olive, but also ahead of the Solo in top. Darshan's the highest level in the game.
And he's going with a full split push build right now, going for that Blade of the Ruined King next. Not looking to team fight, just looking to abuse the Rumble more and more. And so far, it's worked really, really well. So Golden Guardians has a strategy that is working on all cylinders, and now they're going to be able to claim the second Infernal in 30 seconds. This feels like one of the very last nails in the coffin of TSM.
You said it, Crumbs. They are cooking. Golden Guardian seems to have a stride here in the series. It's what you need to find. It can't be up and down. A roller coaster makes the series so much more difficult. But like you said, GGS finding their footing, and they know where to put their best foot forward. 9,000 gold in the lead here in Game 4. The game they are looking to bring them to the Academy World Finals. Infernal Drake is up. A little bit more power would be fantastic for Golden Guardians, but first Infernal for TSM could really help stop the bleeding.
They're looking for Darshan. Now he's going to run them into the base. He does have the little boomerang that might buy some time, but I think they're going to be able to get him here. TSM needs to get something out of this because they're losing the Infernal.
So Darshan goes top. Oh, they didn't actually get to go bot at all. Like you said, they just grab Infernal. Darshan goes down here in this instant, but now it's just about how long it can actually take for him to go down. Woo. Oh, he dodges it. That's going to be the ignite. We've all felt that. It's like, really, buddy? Really? At least you needed to use Ignite. That's what Darshan is saying. Treat's still very happy to pick up that kill as they stop a bit of the pressure around the map, but it starts up once again in the bot side. Equalizer's down, but so is this inhibitor turret.
And they lost Acadian in the mix too, so even though they got the Darshan kill, it doesn't matter. They're now taking down Greg.
Greg's overheated. Nice Zanius to get back out of that mode and try to do some more ability power damage, but it's Palafox using that reset to jump forward. Blaze Olive gets himself shuffled back into position as the inhibitor will fall, and GGS is standing tall inside TSM's base for that first inhibitor. They are not turned away before they grab what they came for.
That 1-for-1 ended up costing TSM the inhibitor. That would have been a very big objective to keep up, as Baron is the next objective that Golden Guardians has set on their sights, and with a pause, we now get a little bit of a breather for both of these teams.
Is indeed. You see actually a pretty good laugh there on Greg's face as he was kind of smiling. So the players feeling pretty good still in that mental state. That's good to see as they start pushing each other for that long haul. Like we said, we're almost kind of an hour and a half into gameplay. Add another 20 minutes onto that is where we are into this game. So it takes a bit. They've gotten the breaks in between, but we are testing those limits now of a best-of-5 series here. Almost coming to Game 5 now.
Very tense moment for TSM right now with that pause, because they have their backs against the wall, and losing the bottom inhibitor is the most dangerous one when it comes to Baron coming up. You have to send members to the farthest lane away from that objective. Likely means you need to commit a teleport. And if you don't have the power to invade, to get vision, to set up that ward for the teleport, that's what makes it so tricky to lose that inhibitor in the bottom lane. So I really wish that we could get to see what ended up happening that caused Acadian to go down, that ended up losing that inhibitor.
We're going to get this sorted out in a quick second. I believe we saw Tactical having a few issues there that we will figure out and get him back into game. Looking at what a perfect hit, a perfect initiation would be here for TSM. You cordon off GGS, get him in a position in front. We said they're going to be split, right? So you can take that fight, but if you take it fast enough, teleport isn't there in time. Just imagine you throw that equalizer down behind the entire team. This has to be perfect, by the way. You throw the equalizer down behind the entire team, and you shove him into the equalizer. No escape, no forward.
I don't
because GGS just want to go forward, and they might roll over you, but it's a chance.
I don't want to be a negative Nancy.
No!
But there's not a single completed damage item on that Rumble. That Rumble does not hurt.
No, you know I was saying it because of the slow. Come on.
You put that fire's on Simmer, Riv. That's not doing anything. There's, what, only Azanias? Is that the only thing?
All right, so you throw a lukewarm equalizer behind the enemy, right?
And they're toasty.
little worried, okay? And then you shove them in. You get the ricochets. You get an alt.
That would work. That would work.
Yeah. Because right now, you're Cataclysm, or use the Cataclysm against them. Because they're all going to try to focus on the member in Cataclysm. Turn that into your frying pan. Because right now, it's fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
It's Trist and Ezreal just firing into the Cataclysm. Turn that into your strategy.
I just can't help but wonder if it's a frying pan. You're like, oh, man, there's no sizzling in here. I keep flipping it over, and nothing happens.
Someone turned off the heat. We'll see if they can get that amped up, though. Still, if you get over 50%, you're doing a bit of more damage on your abilities. So hopefully you can stay in that range. We saw him overheat last fight, but this fights are so long, it's hard to not have to use your abilities.
Actually, you don't even need to steal the Cataclysm. You can use the Gnar ultimate into Azir's wall.
You can steal the Gnar ultimate. That's pretty dank. I like it.
It's lined up perfectly. It's no longer, you don't have to worry about a circle. It's all in a straight line, making the equalizer even easier.
Right. And then you warm up everybody along the wall.
Ooh. A little summer vacation here.
Throw down the tropical rain. See Greg on your screen. You can see kind of the difference here between gold, about 10,000 gold lead for Golden Guardians that they've been able to basically dictate where they want to go on the map. TSM has really been behind in trying to figure out how to find a way into this composition of Golden Guardians because they have pretty much set the pace and dictated all those fights.
I mean, they really have from minute one.
Minute one, yeah.
Going
Well,
for
game one, too. They had 3-0.
Yeah, minute one, game one. They've been very aggressive in game 4, which is something that you usually don't expect. I think it really caught TSM off guard to see how much they committed. But it really is a very well thought out plan when you consider that you have the Tristana. Because usually you'd think, okay, you wasted so much time here. This is pointless. Just back off, go back. But not only did it win the bottom lane because you got the poke champions there first, you won the mid lane because you pushed out the wave, and then you accelerated the jungle matchup. So it was a really well thought out level 1 that has just snowballed out of proportion in every single lane.
When we think about the situation for both of these teams coming in, obviously Golden Guardians coming in with a bit of a switched up roster, but the veteran of Darshan in the top lane for this one around, Ole in the bot lane, and they've been able to play quite strong all season long. TSM, the same thing, but a lot of switches here towards the end of the split. We see Grig going into the top lane. Acadian is now into that jungle position with also Speak on the LCS team and Tactical and Treats to that LCS sub position. So a lot of things happening behind the scenes in the TSM organization with still having your top teams at that position, which is great to see because once they iron out all those, they're going to be even stronger in those positions.
Yeah, I mean, the more time you give this team, the more likely they're going to just
for sure
rise up. You've got a guy that's been playing top lane for 2 weeks, somebody that
and
just
already showing quite well,
right.
beating some decent members of other top lanes that have been there for a long time.
Yeah, I don't expect them to show up against Darshan and win, right? Like Darshan is one of our best top laners,
Things like
right,
welcome
in the
to my home.
So yeah, of course he's not going to be able to beat him,
Absolutely.
but he's at least showing promise.
And we know Cloud9 and 100 Thieves do sit on the other side of this bracket. Cloud9 is saying, yeah, we are going to make sure we get to finals, make sure what happened last season doesn't happen, and they may not even have to do it against TSM.
Right? Going up against, well, is that a good thing, though, if the defending champions got beaten by somebody even stronger?
That's true. You don't know. There's a few of the GGS members now. Oh, my God. Froggen's got the guns out. Is that loud? Froggen's looking good right now. FBI as well right next to him as they're just hanging out, watching the team do great things. I expect to see Froggen playing Triss mid now. This is pop-off.
He has.
I'm kidding. Well, more.
It's just such an annoying pick with the endless wave clear. Because, you know, it's so much about the sustain. How much does your mana pool allow you to continue to shove the wave out? And here's one that, yes, she's a mana champion that gets to endlessly wave clear without spending mana.
Yep. I love it. Usually you were in lane as Triss, and you're like, why am I pushing? Now you want to push all the time. You have lane priority, and you can roam. It's great.
And it forces your opponent to actually have to get away from the minions to puts them in a weird position.
That's true.
Because you actually have to play it usually either back away from the minions or to the side, which does put you in a precarious position of potentially getting ganked from a jungler from one of the sides. So it's just, the more you look into the pick, the more you realize why it's so valuable right now.
So we are back in. We were just fixing a quick spectator issue. So nothing with the plays in game. Everybody is good to go. Right as rain. The clicks are feeling good. And we'll see what happens. 3 items onto Keith. 1 finish now onto Tactical. He is still quite a bit behind. But we know what that means. It means the game needs to scale quite a long time. GGS did give a bit of that time in game 3 to TSM. But I think this one is still going to be closed out quick enough for GGS if they can keep this pace.
Yeah, I mean, I think Darshan has committed to the split pushing
really
100% this time around. And the poke from Keith is so nutty that it's really tough for anybody on TSM's team to actually face check and get into the Baron. I mean, if you lay down Karma Q and then Ezreal starts poking out, who can really get in?
All that cooldown right now. Looking for Ludens as well. Double Cataclysm going in. Hard goes quick on the stopwatch. Tactical almost taken out immediately by 3 skills. The follow-up is going to be there. Beautifully done as Hard drops the marksman, and Tactical is now down in the Sivir. Spells were not up in that form of Summoner, so he goes down with his flash and teleport waiting to come back up. They're going to be on the Baron now, 18-11 at 23 minutes in. Golden Guardians continue to take the members of TSM off the map and find different objective advantages. This one is going to be the big one.
That was exactly why in Game 2 TSM bans the Jarvan when they're playing the Sivir. They don't want to deal with the fact that he can always do that to her, and she's got no way out. She just has to deal with whatever damage is going to come her way. And Fortunately, it is a heck of a lot of damage as Keith is now super duper fed.
9-1 and 5. I think this is the second time. Remember, didn't he give a 700 gold bounty over Arcadia in this game? Now he has another 450 gold bounty to his head. Absolutely crazy. 40 CS away from the horizon, and he is going hard on this one. I don't think he'll have free CS to himself anymore. Ole will definitely give it to him, but they're sharing around the map, so that number will climb just a bit slower. Trinkets all changed out for what everybody needs at this point in the game. Looks like we're trying to finish up just more core items here for TSM. They're buying time with double Zanyas now. At least Haunting Gaius is finished up, but it's not going to be more penetration from Sork Boots. He had to mitigate damage with the Ninja Tabis, so Greg slowly coming online with that equalizer.
Here comes the 1-3-1 out of Golden Guardians. Greg is waiting in the brush.
This is what I was talking about, Crumbs.
Looking for the engage. Can it happen?
Like the squeezelizer. Then you just squeeze him into the equalizer. No. He's just going to shake his hand? Oh my word, he took what is that, one shot? He took a few hits there from Keith, and that was just about Grig's health bar. Unbreakable comes up from Treats, and I don't know about that entrance from Greg into the fight there. GGS saw him coming in the whole time. Now it's Darshan working the bot side. One job for this man, and it's to keep that split push going. Cause TSM to want to pull their hair out. That's the ult you were looking for, KD, into steal. The Gnar ultimate is now out. If TP getting a good slam against the wall, TP's going back. Here comes Greg. He's on a vision ward, and GGS is going to start to pull out. They have to figure it out.
No!
They close it up, and it's GGS just going forward, but is it going to be enough? The health bars of TSM are going down to KD, and maybe the first one, but it's going to be just after Greg falls. Treats getting pushed back. The top side of the map is a Blaze Olive going down in the base, getting opened up by GGS as they turn TSM's house into shambles.
And Golden Guardians is now knocking at the door of World Academy Finals. They've done it. They are going to be going all the way to the podium against Cloud9 Academy or 100 Thieves.
A beautiful game. Golden Guardians shine brightly. 4 games in, they will take it 3-1, and they will face either Cloud9 or 100 Thieves in the finals.
It's a very dominant performance out of them, having so much power in the top lane as expected throughout the series, but the bottom lane in this game just completely crushed. 9, I believe 10 kills on Keith at the end of the game. 13 actually, 13, 1, and 6 by him.
13, 1, and 6 in a 23-kill game. 19 of those kills he participated in. 18 of the kills Hard participated in. A really big effort for everybody across the series. And you look as well at last game. I would love to high-five Ole. Great plays to keep Keith Sona alive. Those two were really the reason a lot of the momentum kept going for GGS. Darshan on the top side throughout every game, coming up big. And Hard, Palafox on that Tristana, everybody stepping up for GGS.
Yeah, the Trist this game was just awesome. Being able to do so much for the team as well, being able to shove, rotate everywhere. They were playing like a 5-man unit, which is exactly what you need to go all the way to the top, because the competition only gets harder from now on, considering that this is the TSM roster that just put together a week ago.
Absolutely. They do have the reigning champs title, but a lot of back and forth with who they were putting onto paper and then into the Rift after scrims changes things up for them, right? You don't have the same flow, the same power you have been going into each game and scrim with. The GGS were definitely able to take advantage of that, no doubt.
And just think about how spicy it gets from here on, Riv, because if it's Cloud9 that wins tomorrow, we're going to have Keith, the former Cloud9 bottom laner, going up against definitely the former Golden Guardians bottom laner too. So you really got a bit of a vengeance match going on.
Picture perfect bot lane right there. As we kind of relive a little bit of this game 4, we do know that GGS jumped out to a very early lead. And it was that replay, this top side of the jungle just not working out for TSM throughout the series.
I almost forgot about how good this play was. So he was able to rocket jump right out of it, because now you can jump out of it, right? You can't. It doesn't always block you. Only the first instance prevents you from getting past it. So he really plays it super well, especially with the buster shot at the end.
So I'm not crazy. I literally thought that Tristana snuffed Azir's ultimate completely.
No, so she
Yeah, she went
back,
over it.
and
I was like, you can stop that? I thought it was a cat. Like, it's just cast. Yeah, my mind was blown for a second. I'm glad we rewatched that.
It's still a mind-blowing.
It's still a mind-blowing play, but I'm like 100% less mind-blown now to only 500%. It was 600, if you can believe that.
That's a lot of percentages.
Well, I literally thought I saw something I've never seen before, and it was that crazy. So it didn't happen. Oh, well. But the win for GGS does happen, and what a fantastic one to think. Taking out the champions that were trying to get back to that title, and you now have to face off against probably Cloud9 or 100 Thieves, who that is a someday show on the top side, or an entire just huge breadth of play coming from a whole roster.
They have so much momentum behind them, though. In the last 14 games, Golden Guardians is 1 loss, 14 victories. They have just been on an absolute tear.
Feels good to get the victory here and kind of solidify that. Yeah, it felt good. We're getting 14, a little bit 13. There. To hear more about their finals berth, however, let's send it over to Captain Flowers and the Golden Guardians jungler.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I am here with Hard after their victory over TSM Academy. Good stuff coming out there from you guys. Now, the first question I want to ask is, a lot of the games in this series were pretty close. Even in the first game, it was Golden Guardians who had the lead, and TSM came out with the win. In some of the subsequent games, it was still neck and neck for a lot of that time. What do you think was the X factor that made it so you guys were able to prevail in a lot of these closer matches?
Well, I think other than, I think we really adapted to draft in 2, 3, 4. But in the first game, I think we struggled with maybe nerves because we were kind of jumping the gun and we weren't really counting numbers. So I think when we started counting numbers and making sure our fights were like at least even when we were going into them, I think we were able to secure like, I think the big X factor was probably Darshan because he was able to win top lane every single game like pretty hard, I think. So we were able to carry his lead over to the rest of the team, and I think that was like probably the biggest reason for our success this series.
All right, now talking about Darshan, this guy who's got a lot of LCS experience of his own. When you look at Golden Guardians from Spring Split, Golden Guardians Academy didn't even make the playoffs. There was a roster revamp. Only you and Palafox stayed on the squad. Now you've got LCS veterancy in the other spots on the roster. What has it been like for you guys working with these veterans who have played in the LCS so much before, and kind of what has that taught you, and how has that changed the team for the better?
I actually think, just for this question, I think there's like 2 big pieces with Darshan. I think he really like carries us up like energy-wise. Like he's always so positive. He tries to motivate all of us. He's actually probably like one of the best teammates, if not best teammate, like in League of Legends history, I think, honestly. Like he's the most positive guy you can have. And then I think Keith, he brings a lot of like energy. Sometimes like a little bit of bad energy, but it bounces off between Darshan. But he really just, like he's really hardworking. Like he's working really hard. He wants to win so bad. And I think with Ole, I think Ole's helped me and Christian the most. He hasn't really talked so much with Darshan and Keith. He's given them advice because he's won a couple of championships. You know, he's been up there for a while. And I think he helped Christian the most. And I think he's really changing Christian's idea of like how to play the game. He's opening up more ideas of what he can be doing in the games. So I think with those 3, I think it's helped us so much to like just change how we're playing. And I think that's just a big difference from last split to this split.
Now, we're discussing how much of an impact these guys as your teammates have had on you, and it sounds like it's been a pretty incredible experience so far. But now I want to look at the other side of the coin. You were playing today, specifically in your jungle matchup, up against Acadian, who spent most of his time this split on the LCS stage. The entire point of Academy is to train players to compete at the higher level, at the LCS level. For you as a jungler, what was today's matchup like going up against Acadian? Were there any extra nerves there, or was it just another day at the races and you had a job to do?
I think first game I was probably nervous, but I think game 1, 2, he actually played really well. He honestly like railed me in those games. I was down so much CS in the. I think the second game he pressured mid really hard. And in the first game, he just pressured bot and he got like a good dragon, and then he went to Herald. So I think he played so well. But I think, yeah, no, he was doing really good. And I think by the time my nerves like caught up, like between like middle of game 2, I think I started playing better. And by 3 and 4, it was all right. It was like close games, you know.
Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear. Now, you guys are obviously hyped up. The blood's pumping, the adrenaline's flowing. You've got your win here against TSM. You've punched your ticket to the final, going up against either Cloud9 Academy or 100 Thieves Academy. How are you feeling about those two matchups? Worried at all, or is this just the Golden Guardian show all the way to the trophy?
I think if we play 100 Thieves, we'll probably win like 80% chance. Like there's always, of course we can lose. Like I'm not counting out either of the teams. I think C9 is going to be probably the team that advances. I think they're the tougher opponent. I think if we're playing at our like highest, if we're playing at our peak, and they're playing at their peak, I think we should be able to beat them. I think it matters so much on like how we are like energy-wise on our sleep and everything, because those games are going to be like really like we have to pay so much attention to those games because they're really quick at like just pulling the trigger and just like finding a team fight and fighting. They fight like at almost any moment. So I think. Yeah, if we're alert, we're attentive, I think we can beat them.
Sounds like y'all got your game plan ready to go. It should be a very fun final to see. Of course, we also have semifinals coming up again tomorrow to see who their opponent is going to end up as. But for now, one more congratulations to y'all on Golden Guardians Academy. Fantastic series played today. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Captain Flowers and Hard. Great insight into the team. You can definitely tell how much of a kind of close team that they are, having so much to say about each other and knowing kind of what each other brings to the table really helps just iron things out. There's no questions along the way.
I really appreciated how specific he was about Darshan, Ole, and Keith and what they bring to the table and how they've all been helping Hard and Palafox.
It's good to hear. It sounds like the structure of a team that is ready to take on the finals. Every player gave it their all today, but one pro's performance stood above the rest as a consistent performer across this series. And today it is Darshan earning player of this series, controlling that top lane all game long, as we heard Hard saying, but also mentally throughout each lane with his voice.
I have been a teammate of Darshan, and I can attest that he can be a very positive guy, especially when he is crushing the lane so hard, winning lane every single game, being able to translate that to the rest of the team. And yeah, don't worry too much about that fall off in the kill participation in Game 4. It was all about split pushing. What really matters is the gold differences, always up on his opponent, and just a outrageous amount of gold up in Game 2 where he secured like 4 solo kills against Grig. But like we know, going up against either Someday or Kumo and Jukes, it's going to be a much tougher opponent now for Darshan, because Grig is not a top laner. Now the competition gets real.
Yeah. Now you actually have to ban out your own champion pool against the guy you're playing against. So Golden Guardians have booked their spot in the Academy World Finals. They'll face off against the winner of tomorrow's series as 100 Thieves Academy attempt to take down Cloud9 Academy. That's going to be an awesome game. Do not miss it. You kind of see how the bracket played out as well. 100 Thieves able to take down Echo Fox there. What a back and forth that I think has a lot of people thinking 100 Thieves maybe shouldn't have gone as back and forth within that series.
Yeah, because of their win streak. They were previously 10-0, and the 3rd seed going up against the last seed, you'd think, okay, this is going to be a one-sided matchup, but it felt like if Echo Fox played a little bit better, they could have almost taken that series, which is what prompted Cloud9 to pick 100 Thieves as their opponent.
Absolutely, so do not miss that tomorrow. Now for myself and the entire Academy crew, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow, for Cloud9 Academy versus 100 Thieves. Have a good night. That's actually a very big kill. This is going to be a double red buff transfer over to a Blaze Olive. He can pick up a refresh right here. A few more attacks, and he picks up a solo double. Almost giving himself up on that one. Equalizer comes down, a good teleport from Grig. He flashes inside the Cataclysm to try to get through it even quicker.
Right here. I'm gonna drop it. Silas. Azir. Go! Nice!
Ole and Palafox could go down here in the corner. Palafox in a real tough spot. Three's a crowd around him. But look at GGS closing in. Figure it out. No! They close it up, and it's GGS just going forward, but is it going to be enough? The health bars of TSM are going down. Acadian maybe the first one, but it's going to be just after Grig falls. Treats getting pushed back.